Now the last section of 31.1. We want to talk about the ways that pathogens transfer, the different um ways that they are moved from one place or to another. So pathogens, they need to enter the body in order to like make an infection, in order to cause a person to get sick. So they have to go inside the body, and there are five different ways that they can go inside the body. The first is through direct contact. Direct contact is when a person, like when things physically touch each other, when they actually touch physically, touch, and so the bad stuff from the sick person goes to the healthy person. An example of this is like rabies and HIV. Rabies is like, so for example, there's like a dog who has rabies, and when that dog bites a person, that person also gets rabies because the dog, which is the unhealthy organism, physically touched, it bit onto like say your hand, and you as the healthy organism gets that disease, and those pathogens entering into your body because of that direct contact from the touch. Second is indirect contact. It's the opposite of direct contact. So it's through other materials. So like through materials that transfer infection. So like indirect, say like an infected person touches, say like a person who has corona touches like her phone, and then she passes her phone to you, and you touch that phone, and then with those hands that touch the phone, and you rub your eyes and touch your face and stuff like that, and then you get corona. That's all because of indirect contact. You didn't touch the person with corona, but since you touched like the stuff that touched her, all those diseases and all those things are now transferred to you through indirect contact. An example of this is parasitic worms from soil. Just memorize that example because I do not know what it is. Anyways, next is airborne contact. Very easy. Airborne, just think about air. How is if a person coughs or sneezes, then the pathogens, the diseases are transferred through the particles that come out of your mouth and go through the air into another person. So it's through the air. Think about like after you cough or sneeze, those little particles that come out of your mouth and nose all transfer to another person. Yes, an example of this is tuberculosis and SARS. Tuberculosis is the thing, the lung problem thing. Anyways, next is vector contact. What vector contact does is that it carries a pathogen and transmits it to the healthy cells. So what's a vector? Vector is not an angle, but it is a living agent. It's an organism that transfers pathogens. So, for example, during the Black Death, there was this flea that bit a rat and caused it to have a disease. And those rats, they carried that bacteria that they got from the flea, and they like went around the ship causing people to get sick, and they landed on land and went around land causing the people to get the Black Death and eventually die. Another example of vector contact is a mosquito. When mosquitoes suck blood from a person with like a certain disease, and then they go to another person, and like while sucking your blood as well, some of the disease from the other person goes into you. And so like mosquito, it's like a way of transportation of diseases through like a vessel, through like something else. Okay, next, food contact. It's exactly what it says, contact through food. So you're getting what diseases through food. So example of this is mad cow disease and salmonella. You do not need to understand, but just memorize those examples. That is the end of 31.1. 수고하셨습니다.